I'd love to ask you both how you witness, now not so much talking about your own life, but how you witness in the lives of others when spirituality shows up in healthy ways for your clients, or how you might encourage clients to engage in healthy forms of spirituality, and when may you see it not so healthy?
I think a lot of what I often perceive first in my own clinical work is the not healthy version of spirituality. As a person of faith who is a therapist, I do have a lot of clients of faith. I have agnostic folks and people of other faiths who find me too, which I'm so grateful for. Love working with the diversity of spiritual perspectives and backgrounds. But often I find folks who are struggling with how they've initially experienced faith. And a lot of what we're doing is working through their deconstruction, not only of theological ideas, but of practices that I felt oppressive or harmful in some way. And so for me, so much of my clinical work when it comes to spirituality or faith is seeing what room there is for redemption. And that's a word that is a little bit of Christianese, so we can think about the other words that we might use, but a reframe maybe is a broader word than anyone from any background might use, to reframe something that was in fact problematic or oppressive or difficult, and to allow it to have the weight that it had, but to also say, is there something meaningful that could still come from the thing that was in fact painful or harmful in some way? And so I think in my clinical practice, at least, so much of what we're doing is to say, let's name the oppression was oppression when it was, right? And sometimes something actually wasn't oppression, it was just hurt. But whatever it is, let's name it as such. And then let's see, are there redemptive practices or new ways of understanding a new connection to faith that might bring meaning, that might bring purpose?
Yeah, that's really helpful. I think I often go back to something that Dietrich Bonhoeffer talked about when he talked about ethics. And he would say, whatever is humanizing is ethical, and whatever is dehumanizing is unethical. Now, of course, that begs the question, what is humanizing? But I think most of the world religions, again, I'm not an expert in all the world religions, but there is this sense of there's relationality at its core and humanizing at its core. And that anything that becomes, again, dehumanizing is problematic. So when I, whether I'm in my pastoral role or professor role or therapist role, when I see, again, people coming online in their full humanness, I go, oh, there's spirituality at work. There's thriving at work again. So a lot of times it could be new ideas. I love the transformational moment when the light bulb goes on. I'll sometimes say, I think what I'm called to do is help people see things in a new way. And again, it has something to do with being fully human. It has something to do with, uncoupling from those dehumanizing issues that some of them are systemic and some of them are historical familial things that psychology talks a lot about. But those are the moments of transformation that I think are really, really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Super helpful. I love this humanizing. And earlier you said in therapy, one way to think about might be helping people become better lovers.
Yeah.
And that when faith, religion, spirituality helps us become better lovers of ourselves,
mm-hmm.
of one another, of those not like us, of God, of a deity,
mm-hmm.
of the environment, that is a healthy form of spirituality. And dehumanizing is when we detract from our capacities, perhaps to receive love, and detract from our capacities to give love.
I think too, for me, there's something that I just feel sort of compelled to share, is that I think I've been really helped with this idea of like life is gift. And there's something about recognizing my place in the world, that if life's gift, I don't have to cling to life. I don't have to cling to my ego. I don't have to cling to my narcissism. I don't have to cling to my privilege and my power and my space, right? Because I didn't really get it in the first place, right? This is what's so important, I think, for people of privilege to recognize. You didn't do anything to get that. You just got it. So don't cling to it. Give it away, right? If life's gift, then there's always more than enough to go around. There's always more where that came from. And MLK Jr. said this the best, right? Like, until everyone's free, nobody's free. And so there's something about, again, that awe and transcendent. This is all gift. and it's all temporary. And so how do I enter into life as a person who experiences this as gift, and you as gift, and me as gift, and us as gift, and how does that shape the way we enter the world differently? I think that's really important. I think it's important for our clients. I think it's important for when it comes to being stuck. I think stuckness is partly I can't recognize life as gift.